Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic 2006. Who boy white Acropolis. As usual, I'm going to try and show the best side of this level, but there is nothing to show in the first act of this one. Even more so than in Wave Ocean's Mark Speed section, it's obvious here how utterly broken some parts of the game are. These are the snowboarding controls. They do not work. The only way the snowboarding kind of works in this game is if you hold forward all the time and do not try to deviate from that at all. At the very least, you do not get hurt when you hit a wall or a tree here, but other than that, this does not work. People who play this game for the first time will struggle here badly. You will die a lot because you are going to be completely flabbergasted how little this game works. In like an hour or two of recording, this is the one time I got this one up, and no, I'm not going to be able to show off the very first jump of the ramps in the game because the jumping does not work. Here is another jump that works this time, but I am not going to beat around the bush. I am going to show you how this usually goes because the jumping is awful. You have to preload your jump. You see that Sonic is going into his knees right now, and then it does not work for some reason. I do not know what I did wrong. Fortunately, you can turn around and just drive back up the mountain because that makes sense, and then awkwardly turn around again and try it again, and it doesn't work. And the thing is, you have to, as I said, preload your jump a long time, hold down the jump button, and then when you release it, you jump, which is always awkward. But he jumps like a second later, like this, and it sometimes works, and then it doesn't work again, and oh boy. So you can recover from this, you can try again and again, drive back up and go down, back down again, and I was trying this for 2 hours and I was super happy that I got it the first try in the good recording, because again, it can work, this is proof, but usually it won't. It's just extremely awful. I have no idea how it actually works. You need some speed, so this is why doing it the very first time is actually easier, but most of the time you're just going to be extremely frustrated. I cannot tell you how to best do this if you're following along. Here is a bit of a side path, and the best way to do this is to slow down to a crawl and just do a few adjustments, because, you know, this is also how snowboarding works. There is no acceleration here, and then slowly inch your way forward to get this medal here. You can also fall down from the top directly on the medal, but it's even harder to control, and there is pits on the side, so that's fun. Again, the game probably expects you to really coolly ramp through here and do awesome stuff, but again, this doesn't really work. The snowball section here is again a bit of a mess, just because the physics on them do not work and the debris should really go down again, and this looks amazing, doesn't it? But I really wanted to turn around to not miss this medal, to show off a full run where I get all the medals, especially after I got the first cursed 2 in this section relatively easily. So here I go again. By the way, turning around is best done by throwing yourself against the wall, because then the turning around physics work better. Want to see how it usually would go? First of all, you're going to get physicsed a lot by the snowballs, which is always fun, and then like this you can just go through there relatively quickly. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled programming, and it's another chase segment, which also again does not work. This medal up there, it's an insane pain in the ass to get. If the first one wasn't so bad, or the second one in the level I should say, then I would call this one of the worst to get, but it's really bad. And also this is what usually happens. Yeah, you miss this jump and you die. I've game overed here so often because it is absolutely not intuitive that you have to preload your jump like that and release it really, really early. Again, if you're following along, you will see for yourself. Otherwise, you will just have to trust me how utterly awful this is. So let's try again with the medal, huh? I know where it is, but the controls, again, it's extremely bad and you come here down really quickly. So let's do a little trick here, huh? Well, this is obviously intended. So let's try again for the medal, inching our way forward, and it doesn't work because, again, the acceleration is completely bad here. It does not work at all. So here is how I turn around, hitting the wall, which allows you to freely move while you're turned around, and again it doesn't work, so let's skip ahead. You can see from the time how long this took me, and finally, very gently and slowly, again, except it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, you just have to know how this works. And then finally, one more take for this. Just to show off, it can work, but usually it does not. Anyway, back to our main run, and of course we just let the snowball skip us by. It supposed to kill you, but well, it doesn't, just hits you. Is this a problem? No, it's obviously not a problem. Preloading a jump, releasing it extremely early, and there we go. This is the end of the snowboarding segment. Whew, take a big breath because the level becomes much better now because we do not have to snowboard anymore. This is a bit of an interstitial segment, which is kind of an introduction to concepts which we will see later. Kind of like it for that. It's actually, you know, you have normal gameplay. It's always a sigh of relief here. You have some corners where there are medals hidden. You can look ahead in the level, which is a bit segmented off with these laser walls, and you can play around with this, which does not work with the normal kick, but it does work with the slide kick. Do not ask me why. It's probably something to do with hitboxes. Yes, yes, yes. And this is also cool. If you go from the right angle, then the robot's body will destroy the ice wall. That's great. I like it. This part here is also like, they probably went a bit overboard with the accelerator pads, but it's all good. It's all fine. It's kind of fun, and this is the very first time I even see this rainbow ring, so that's why I'm going back a little, like completely surprised. Oh, there's a shortcut I don't know about. And pondering if I should get it, but again, the accelerator pads and the camera there against me, and I was like, okay, you know what? You have seen it. If you want to try it out for yourself, by all means do so. This part is fun to play, but I'm going to spoil right here. This is actually the S-rank run, so there is not going to be another opportunity for me to show it off, but I can't show off everything in the game. Anyway, there's these big boys, and the big boys, they spawned because the searchlight saw me. You might have heard the alarm. This is the main mechanic of this part of the level, where if you get spotted, then enemies spawn, and you can do this and kill the searchlight, which is kind of fun in a way. It's also kind of funny. You will get spotted with this, of course, but every searchlight gives you 1000 points, so if you're into that, then definitely, by all means, do it. Should there be. This is the main part of the level where you absolutely have to go down into one of these pits. So this is basically the tutorial for that this works, if it works. Then a little bit of minor issues here, just wait around, it's fine, it's no problem. And what do we have here? First we see our friend in the distance and a box with rings in it. This is rare, rarely happens. I don't know why it would make these kind of things, but I guess they had it left over from development, put it somewhere. So the tails section here, vastly better than the first one in Wave Ocean because there's less chance to die. This is the only pit. What I'm doing here is just like spending his flight against a wall so it doesn't veer out of control, because that's what it tends to do. And then otherwise it's just more or less straight shots forward. You can have the freedom to actually fly around, explore a little bit, use his verticality to take out the searchlights early so that enemies don't spawn, which deprives you of points. So you know, there is always two sides to every issue, and just ring bomb everything, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. This is how Tails gameplay should look like. I mean, janky ring boxes aside, generally this is a fine level for Tails to be in. So I wasn't high enough here. I should have stopped on the platform just to show off that. You can also snipe those. Didn't kill it because the explosion hitbox is janky, but you don't know. I don't know. Just don't sweat it. It's fine. Also, exploration, rewards, you can get a silver medal here, amazing. This one spotted me, I think, but doesn't really matter, you can just keep going. So this entire thing here is kind of nice, because it allows you to engage with the gameplay as much as you want. You can fight all of these guys, and in the past I had this kind of obsession with sniping every enemy, whereas like this, obviously you have to kill the enemies, that's what you do, right, in a game, but you don't have to, you can pick your fights. Just don't fight anything that is annoying. You also don't have to fight these two guys. As soon as you touch the switch, then Sonic will take over. You can let the robots be, it's fine. It gives you 1000 points, and I showed you the strategy to do it, which is dive bombing. Anyway, we're in the final part of the level, which is actually really interesting as well as far as structure goes. It's a big square, and you just have to get basically around it in a big loop with some paths that intersect. And you have to make sure that you get over the laser walls. So this one here is a good example of how this can break, however, because this tower is destructible. And if it is dead, then, well, this intended path doesn't quite work, does it? And you can't get over there. You can get to the left, actually, because your homing attack goes high, so high, in fact, that you can get over the very first laser wall, which is something I did often when I first played this game. But here, it's just not possible. You can't go up here. The homing attack is disabled, the camera is terrible, and it doesn't work at all. So I'm trying, but it doesn't work. But anyway, you can get over the first laser wall, which is a blessing and a curse, because if you go over there, then the structure of the level is completely destroyed and you have no idea where you will go, getting lost a lot. So that's happened to me a lot. I just doubled back, didn't know, I went back to here from the end of the level, and it's extremely hard to see where you even have to go. Still, if you follow the path, it's quite nice, and you can explore a little bit and find more silver medals. Of course, they're hidden all the way through here. It's very good. This is also a part where, for example, this entire middle section here, towards the middle, right middle, I don't know, is optional, but you have seen this before, so you're inclined to explore it. At 20 ring boxes, the highest amount of rings you can get from a box is like a significant reward as far as the game is concerned. And a little bit of physics fun for another mammal, that's great. You can go back here, and this is where you would end up if you do a long homing attack to the red robot on the platform. And you can also skip to the end from here, because you can actually jump onto that ramp. But what I'm just doing here is just, you know, I want to show off the intended way. I don't actually know which enemies they spawn, but, you know, whatever. Let's not dwell on that. We can get a lot of rings while we are here. Just explore around. It's fun. In my opinion, this part of the level is great. It shows off that some of the rings are a bit buried in the ground. That is a problem that even Super Mario 64 has, so, I mean, I'm not gonna dwell on that. You never see this jump coming because the camera is a bit awful, but fortunately you don't die here, so that's great. It's absolutely no problem with me. A few enemies, again, you do not have to engage them. This is really nice about this part of the level. If you don't care for the combat, if you don't care for the exploration, just follow the semi-obvious path or skip ahead a little if you kind of know how the structure works, and after I've showed this off, you hopefully do. And you do not have to do anything. Hey, more boxes with rings in them. Amazing. So this is basically, again, the intended path. Some enemies that pre-spawn. So if you get detected here, there's just some more spawn. I don't know. This guy here basically tries to distract you with his gun turrets. And a new enemy, which is this walker bot here. When you knock it down to its feet, it will take double damage on the body. It can actually only take damage on the body itself, so just hitting the feet does not do any damage. It now has 2 hit points, and it's gone in the next hit, because again, double damage when it's knocked down and sparking. You can also knock it down without sparking, but it doesn't get double damage. It's a bit weird. Anyway, this spring here basically puts you on a fast track towards the end of the level, but you're missing out on a lot of goodies, so I'm skipping the end here. And exploring a little bit more, just because, again, this is fun. This is the fun part of the level. Just, if you're playing it yourself, this can be really nice. I recommend it. You know, just, there is the snowboarding part before that, and that's awful. See, this one isn't sparking, so it doesn't take double damage. I don't know, okay? I think it has something to do with using anti-gravity to actually knock out both legs or something. These enemies are somewhat complex. I like that. It's nice. Anyway, this is where you can jump from the middle section, basically, if you get up to this ramp, a little curve. This is also kind of fun, a nice level design element, this ambush for the silver medal. Generally, as I've mentioned before, I like the way that this game keeps spawning things in some elements. It's obviously because they couldn't figure out how to load everything in at the same time, but also it's nice that sometimes killing enemies triggers stuff, sometimes picking up something triggers stuff, sometimes just getting close to them. It's a fun thing. Anyway, at this point I've decided, okay, I'm good, this has went perfect, I've gotten the last silver medal, and I'm not going to bother with the enemies anymore, just to not risk my huge amount of rings, the ring bonus itself. I don't want to die, and I have died on the last wall run at the end, because that is also a bit janked, because, you know, we're still playing Sonic 2006, but overall, this was really nice, really fun. I did need a bit of ring bonus, but not that much, and a very nice and easy and fun S-rank. Lots of points, and let's just not ever talk about the snowboarding segment ever again, because again, it is extremely awful. So this is basically the two sides of Sonic 2006. You can have a lot of fun with an open section and an open mind if you don't get completely lost, because the game's conveyance is awful, but now you've seen it, so you know this is how it can work. But it also has the snowboarding section, and there's going to be more snowboarding sections.
You're late. Well, we had to deal with your little pets.
Where's Elise?
My, aren't we impatient?
Sonic!
You better not move. Now, the Chaos Emerald. place it there.
Huh? What?
No! It's no use. It's too powerful for you to overcome. Now, allow me to introduce you to my latest creation. This is the Solaris prototype. With this machine, I'll be able to control the flow of time itself. Rest assured, they're not dead. Yet. They've just been teleported by my glorious invention to another time. Who knows where they'll end up? It could be in the distant past or far future. But my machine still requires some fine-tuning. In fact, what my machine needs in order to be complete is your power.
My power?
Yes, I can finally complete my plans, now that I have the Chaos Emeralds and you. The Princess of Soliana. That's all I need to revive the flames of disaster. And with its power, I will be able to control everything and rule the world. So, you would be wise to remain on my good side.
Boy, do I feel dizzy. Where are we?
Oh, look who's here. I didn't expect to see you guys.
Rouge! Shadow!
Hi, long time no see.
This is the distant future, far removed from our own timeline.
The future? Then that means Eggman's machine can control time!
Eggman's got some nerve dropping us here.
Now, how can we get back to our own time?
You need a space-time rift, but this requires a lot of energy. I see. You mean using your chaos control will... Yes, but that alone is insufficient. Okay, Shadow. It looks like we need to work together.
So, for a rare acknowledgement of the cutscenes, we're in the future now, and the future doesn't have a hub section, so the next two levels will just be back to back. This can trip you up a lot, especially considering that, again, the game doesn't have an autosave. Just keep it in mind if you happen to be curious and want to follow along. After this outro, enjoy a bit of a failure reel. I hope you like it, hint hint. Thank you very much for your attention.